Did you know that homicide is the second leading cause of death for young people in America? Nearly half of these victims are African American men. In some cities, that number is even higher. In New Orleans, more than 85% of victims and perpetrators are black men, while in Philadelphia, that number is more than 80%. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Robert Trainum. Joining me is Philadelphia Mayor Michael Nutter and New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu. Mayors, welcome to the program.
Great to be with you.
Mayor Nutter, let me start off with you. My understanding is late last year in October, you convened a groundbreaking summit in Philadelphia, Cities United. Tell us more about that.
Well, we've had this challenge of violence, especially with regard to African American males. Black on black crime for some time. I've talked with my fellow mayors, the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and other meetings and conferences that I go to, and I just thought that it's not just a Philadelphia issue. It really is a broader national issue. Started looking at some of the stats on this, and a number of mayors came together. October of 2011, Mayor Mitch Landrieu was one. About a half a dozen of us, along with representatives from the U.S. Conference of Mayors, National League of Cities, the Knight Foundation, Casey Family Programs, and the Open Society Institute.
So it sounds like
look at this issue and then develop solutions.
So it sounds like what you did was facilitate a groundbreaking event, if you will, with all of the national experts to try to figure out what is the root of this problem.
Absolutely.
To you, Mayor Landrieu, what is the root of the problem?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate Mayor Nutter because it took a lot of courage to begin to talk about this issue. In the city of New Orleans, we have a murder rate that's higher than the national average, and we just tried to figure out what it was. When we started looking at the statistics and we looked in the neighborhoods where it was happening, we found that the young African American kids were killing young African American kids at an alarming rate, but for no reason, silly things. And we didn't really fully understand it. So one of the things we wanted to do.
Let me stop you there for a second. Is it a reason, but we don't understand what that reason is?
Well, no. I think that what has happened is behavioral patterns have developed. And go back and look since 1990 in New Orleans, we've had a very high murder rate, but our violent crime rate is a lot lower. Well, that's really weird. You want to try to understand what that is. And we found out that if we looked in certain neighborhoods in New Orleans, primarily African American, primarily poor, but not because of those two things, but just in those areas, we had young kids killing young kids over stupid stuff. You stepped on my shoe, you disrespected me, you said something mean to my girlfriend. Things that when we were kids used to get settled by a fight, and people would separate us, and now getting separated at the end of a gun. Every day I get a text that, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry to inform you that last night we heard gunshots, we arrived at the scene, a young African-American male was lying on the ground with 2 bullet holes in the back of his head. And so, to me, this is an issue of national concern. It is a catastrophe. It's an unacceptable practice that's going on because we're losing too many of our kids to the street. And I think the honest answer is we really don't know exactly whether there's a silver bullet to deal with this thing or whether it's got to be an all-hands-on-deck program to make this stop.
Are these first-time offenders, second-time offenders?
Not even close.
No, many of these folks, we do runs, you'll find 8 priors, 10 priors, 15 priors. I mean, these are folks well known to the criminal justice system. They, more oftentimes than not, know or know of the person that they're making the victim. And perpetrators and victims, in many instances, all know each other. Not necessarily friends, but all known in the game. They're all in the same business and basically shooting, stabbing, killing each other on a regular basis.
We have about 45 seconds left. You know, to your point, Mayor Landrieu, it used to be that the community kind of came in, if you will, and policed, lowercase p, the situation. My question to both of you, frankly, is where are the parents in all of this? Or is there a family component here that is missing, or quite frankly, are the parents doing everything they possibly can, and this is beyond their reach?
Well, I think it absolutely has to do with parents as well, but it is that, it's the perpetrators, and then it's the much broader social framework, the fabric of it that has frayed, that is resulting in these actions. We have to look at all of them, from bottom to top, front, side, every which way, but it's got to be an all-hands-on-deck operation.
The mayor said it best.
Mayor Nutter, my last question is for you. Yeah. Are good times ahead for our communities? In other words, is there light at the end of the tunnel? Very quickly.
I'm always optimistic. Each of us as mayors working hard every day to turn our communities around, but this has to be a holistic effort, the government and the citizens.
All right, thank you very much, Mayor. It's really appreciated. Of course, thank you for joining us for this edition of Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Robert Trainum. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time. Take care.